you know what? I'm not in a really good mood right now, so I'm just gonna think of the craziest thing that comes to mind, and Bard is gonna help me. I already had this laid out, and I have it in my standard notes, but I know that there is a certain appeal to the use of a keyboard with clicky sounds. And I don't want to take that away from people who enjoy those lovely noises. So I'm going to go to Bard here and just think of the most nonsense thing possible. Write the script for Wayne's World 3. In an age of sequels and reboots, with a few and somewhat growing, thank the Lord, number of original films that are starting to get risque. I still want to see a sequel to Wayne's World, another one. One that actually does well at the box office. So here's what I came up with. I didn't use any AI before this. This just popped into my head on break at work. Write the script for Wayne's World 3. The film starts with Morgan Freeman narrating what happened since Wayne's World. Since the first Wayne's World. And in the most Wayne's World of fashion, Wayne's World 2 is not considered canon. If you've seen both films, I think we can all agree that the first one was way better. It was the foundation of 90s culture. That was the starting point. That film that came out in 1992. And by culture, I mean the social culture of it. There was Nirvana that came before, but Wayne's World really, really told people how to communicate for the rest of the decade. And you could see reflections of it all the way to the end, and even into the early 2000s decade. Wayne is a factory worker assembling GPU chips at a factory in Duluth, Minnesota. Cassandra, actually, I'm going to use this full name, Wayne Campbell, and you'll find out why in a moment. Control End. Cassandra calls him his little Iron Man. That's a bit of an in-joke, yeah, but one that you can easily look up. But if you're laughing, hi neighbor. Cassandra calls him his little Iron Man. And now I have writer's block for a prompt into an AI chatbot. While he is proud of what his life has become, he cannot help but reminisce over Wayne's World. The public access TV program he did all the way back in 1992 when the first film took place. He disowns this because he has since disowned being the Wayne in Wayne's World because, oh, how do I put this? His ex-best friend. I don't see any other way to make a sequel to Wayne's World than to start it on a bit of a sour note. Pun intended. Garth Algar, who got so focused on his work building machines and programming that he is now the Fortune 500 CEO of a security firm headquartered in New York City. He is giving a speech, a motivational speech there, because it is, not because, and it is exactly as depressing as it sounds. Half of the audience he is motivating are giant rats that work for the New York City Sanitation Department in their uniform. In one of the visual gags, Bard, you're gonna come up with some more. In one of the visual gags, the rats originally are CG. Then, when the camera turns back to them, they look like stop motion figures. And actually, instead of CG, I am going to do something the audience of this film would actually want and make them animatronic. And another in-joke, both of these are CG, but it has the appearance of animatronic and then stop motion. Sound good? I don't care. They look like stop motion figures. On TV, while watching KJBR TV, he stumbles on a commercial. And the reason I'm doing this is because it's a CBS affiliate and an NBC affiliate, and Wayne's World is owned by the Paramount company. So there's that. Well, not a commercial, a news piece that involves the new video sharing app and website, a parody of YouTube, a parody of this very site, and this is going to be important for the plot. If it was YouTube itself, it would look too much of a commercial sellout. Even for Wayne, in the first film, while they were mocking commercial sellouts, it would look worse than when the show was bought out in the original film. And I'm not going to give any big spoilers. The original Wayne's World is fun. And the fact is, rock music with Wayne's World made a way better film than K-pop would in any film it could ever possibly make. Change my mind. Prove me wrong. But as of right now, there is no better film based on a music genre than Wayne's World. On it, something's got to push him, though. Do I really need to figure that out for myself, or can I trust Bard here? With some encouragement from his factory friends, most of whom are younger than him, he decides to put on his hat and do Wayne's World again, but with Cassandra instead of Garth. And I'm gonna spell it like this. I don't know the actual spelling here, but I'm a real stickler for grammar. I was practically raised in the South. But with Cassandra instead of Garth, and a bunch of red states that were just very strict on grammar for some reason. But now I live here, so I'm good. Cassandra instead of Garth, girl power, yada yada. Algar. Garth, Algar notices and invites Wayne to take a train to MSP Airport and fly over to New York City. In one of the conflicts, he cannot pick Wayne up. And while Wayne is trying to get the parody of a ride-sharing app, one of his biggest fans of all time, John Oliver, offers Wayne a ride to Garth's condo. When Wayne arrives, this is only going to get more insane. And that's the kind of comedy I can get into. When Wayne arrives, he is greeted by a well-dressed, well-groomed Garth Algar. I'll explain why I am doing this in a moment. He is well-dressed, well-groomed Garth Algar, and a city made out of various foods. Model City. Later in the film, he plays with this using a plane made out of food. Wayne shouts, "Garth!" and he moves one of the towers in a different location, in a different part of the model, indicating that too soon is soon to be over. I really hope Bard figures that one out. And as far as the villain, I haven't really thought much about it other than the main villain is portrayed by Malcolm Ray, who deserves to be in a proper film, especially a proper comedy. But I'll take anything for that guy. I mean, I know there's a big controversy about Channel Awesome, and they did some really bad stuff, but there are some good people in that, and I think and know and feel and all that. I think Malcolm Ray should be in an actual movie. He should be not just an internet personality, a guy that goes to Hollywood, or in this case, New York City, and makes a movie like this, is part of a movie like this, is a villain, and a fun one. The CEO of Noah's Electronics, a subtle callback, because for younger viewers, Noah's gonna probably give the image in their head of Trevor Noah, and this is not Trevor Noah. Please watch the original movie. Can I do more? Okay. CEO of Noah's Electronics. And Bard's gonna figure out a plot around this. I'm just thinking of the silly bits. John Oliver is the parody of a wacky and nerdy sidekick until where should I put this part? John Oliver tags along with them, gushing gleefully, and is the parody of a wacky and nerdy sidekick. Convinces Wayne and later Garth Algar to tag along with them and gushing gleefully. Later in the film, they go to a Finnish rock-themed bar. And the film's just going to have to make this because of the way that commercial real estate is right now in New York City. They go to a Finnish rock-themed bar, and John Oliver sees his own face on the TV there. When he does, he instantly he screams and bursts into flame, melting the flesh off his bones with unnecessary fireworks. Unnecessary sparks, and with unnecessary sparks behind him. As the John Oliver in this universe is somehow appears older and more worn down somehow and somehow furries would still have a crush on him. This is hinted at being some kind of time travel paradox. Some kind of time travel paradox. There it is. In a fever dream that fits in perfectly with the plot, Garth Algar talks to Pepsi Man, Chester Cheeto, and Bugs Bunny in a dress playing Girl Bunny while sitting on Tony the Tiger to discuss his feelings on recent events. Something else, something else, something else. When he turns his eyes to look at Lola Bunny, a nuclear explosion occurs and zooms out. It is on a huge flat panel TV screen. And that's when Garth Algar wakes up. And for those of you wondering why Garth Algar, why do I keep mentioning the last name? Here's why. Malcolm, the Malcolm character's evil henchman, who also has a silly sounding name that Wayne and Garth Algar make fun of, for 7 minutes. His henchman is Garth Brooks. Flat panel TV screen. Love it. The TV then briefly shows the most annoying scene in the Adam Sandler film Jack and Jill before cutting to the next scene. Along the way, Wayne and Garth Algar meet band members of Sugar Ray, Linkin Park, Fall Out Boy, Never Tell, a small an indie electronicore band, you know, more recent bands that cropped up after the original two Wayne's Worlds. And a bit later on, a large group of Finnish rock band members. Oh, not just a large group, an army of Finnish rock band members to find out the meaning of rock and defeat the villain and his nefarious plot. Near the climax, Wayne and Garth Algar do a bit involving an intermission timer counting down from 5 minutes, and the plot continues unabated after 90 seconds. I knew I was missing something. Oh, wait, I already put that down. I thought I forgot, for some reason, the part where John Oliver dies. But at the end of the film, John Oliver shows up scorched and alive somehow. And as he is explaining how he survived when it clearly looked like he died, he gets killed again by one of the NYC Sanitation Department rats. This time, animated like anime. I should just say as a Western anime, because I like to annoy the anime community. Even though I myself want to watch a few from time to time, and do. I've watched some Agretsuko, the Netflix ones. I am curious about more, but I like Western and Eastern entertainment and animation. That's just me. Morgan Freeman also gets killed in an apparent, for a different reason, an apparent act of God. Pun intended. Pun very much intended. Pun so intended that it might very well make its way into the film. After the end credits, Garth Algar, looking like he did in the original Wayne's World, and as he appeared since the aforementioned fever dream. Look, Grammarly. This is a chatbot. I cannot turn this into proper paragraphs without it going and not fulfilling my full vision for Wayne's World 3. This is very important stuff. Okay? As he appeared since the aforementioned fever dreamed. And chest bumps Tony the Tiger as they lean in and their lips touch. It cuts to Louis Rossman, who says, "And as always, I hope you learned something." today. I don't think he. Sometimes I'm not sure how often he includes the today, so I'll just do. I hope you learned something. That's a movie. That's a real movie that came out of my head, and I want Bard to do the heavy lifting of turning this into a screenplay, but the channel isn't narrow enough for me. I want this to be focused in a way that is relevant to present day. I want it to be timely. A timely take on Wayne's World. Not just something like Wayne's World, but something like Wayne's World that young and old audiences can relate to and love. So, themes of the film include the rise of artificial intelligence, the decline of rock music, fandom warfare. I wonder what it's going to do here. Pointless fandom warfare. Control End. There was another one. The need for more emotional intelligence. The benefits and pitfalls of social media and learning to lighten up after a long series of missteps and tragedies, some of which are going to be beyond your control. Finally, I'm going to hit Control Home. I have one more trick up my sleeve. Wayne's World 3... in this day and age, that's going to fly over a lot of people's heads. No. What I am going to do is title this film Wayne's Universe. I am going to double check the notes I made. Yes, I do have it in a tab up here. I did cheat a little, but I did it for the sounds. I did it for the stim porn. You're welcome. I don't really need to read that, and it turns out I did. There is one more detail that I left out, and Grammarly unintentionally did that. John Oliver, when he apparently dies, we're going to use Bridesmaids logic. A mean woman, played by Pam Oliver, his wife, celebrates in the most Pam Oliver way possible. Chelsea Clinton also joins in. So with all of that in mind, show me what you got. Well, it did something. That's really not enough dialogue. Or context. that's not a full movie. Okay, Bard. Good effort. But now I am gonna go over to chat and see what it does. But before I do, I'm gonna give Bard one more chance. One more chance, because maybe a bit of data pollution got in here, and it thought it was going to be an SNL skit. Write a feature-length film. Script for Wayne's Universe. Okay, Bard? Alright. I am also... I think it did the thing again where it's just not long enough. So, Control-C. Control-V. GPT-4. Go. What is your content policy? Well, anyway, you're doing it. Chat, you don't seem to have an objection. If this is because this is copyright, or plagiarism, okay, I'll keep it to myself. I'll keep it to myself. I just wanted a fanfic. I'll keep it to myself. Apology and self-corrective action. Also, that is not my email, but you get the point. I broke a rule again, of course. Hopefully, I'll be able to continue to use that service. Sorry, OpenAI. Also, I made Bard regenerate, and this isn't a script, it's a pitch. And that's something I can look at and have a good laugh out of. Score one for humanity, I guess. In case you're wondering why I'm up here in slightly better clothes, but smelling just the same, it's because I'm going to try a new series. But yeah, I mean, that was just not good. I came up with better ideas than the language learning model did, and that's kind of a disappointment. But I'm proud of myself for using this as a vehicle to ensure that Paramount Pictures will pick up the third Wayne's World film the way I intended. And that new series, it's to be entitled. I'm working on the details. And I'm gonna call it the What About Report. Stay tuned for that. That'll be the next video, and I hope you will enjoy that. It's gonna be a treat. Nothing tested, nothing believed.